All right, here we are on Tuesday, technically 2 days after Apple would have traditionally released their latest betas or public release software, and we are left with a surprise because not only have we not got iOS 26.0.1, but we haven't even got iOS 26.1 beta 5 or the RC as a lot of us are expecting, and this is definitely a surprise. After recent historical releases coming on Mondays here in October, we have now not gotten one this week. After last week's beta that dropped, beta 4, it did have an A build, and that did typically make us believe, thanks to that, that we should be receiving an RC or at the very minimum a 5th beta of iOS 26.1, as this was rumored to be going out by the end of October or early November. Well, here we are in the last week of October, and this definitely does not seem to be getting released right now. What's also interesting is there have been logs on Mac Rumors and all that we should actually also be seeing an iOS public release before 26.1 in the form of 26.0.2, thanks to all of those outstanding issues in this build. Well, while we still wait on that, I want to give you a little bit more feedback after now over a week of using beta 4. And I gotta say, luckily it has not been terrible. Performance has been pretty good. Even in the Geekbench scores, if that's what you're all about. You know, we don't follow those too heavily since this isn't an accurate representation of what goes on day-to-day usage. But let me actually cancel that and just pull up the history. You can see this whole 26.1 beta cycle, it's been pretty consistent, very little fluctuation to either extreme, and just going about everything day to day has worked as you would anticipate. Going into any other articles and stories, you can see just how quick everything is running. So luckily on that end, it hasn't been too bad. Now, we have had a couple of random hiccups, frame drops, and freezes in general, but they have been very few and far between and kind of what you would still expect in a beta software. The one weird thing is the just inconsistency in battery life. So you can see over the last couple of days how it's been. I've always had every day to feel the need to plug it in and charge after only 4 hours or so of screen on time. Here's a 5-hour day. This is a 10-hour day, but that's so inaccurate. I'm not sure really what's going on with that. And then obviously today. But this is one thing I really would like to see addressed and fixed up here in Beta 5 or in an RC, just whichever comes next. Now, aside from that, really on the daily, everything has been pretty good here. With the actual public release that's been out now for a few weeks, 26.0.1 has seemed to give a better and stronger Wi-Fi and cellular connection. I haven't really had any issues with that here. And battery life even, I do have to say, has been pretty decent. Again, this is on our Air, so it's not quite as good as our 17 Pro Max. But also, one thing that has been really impressive is the battery standby. This isn't one of my primary devices, kind of just a testing device we use for betas and things of that nature. But yeah, battery life technically on standby mode, sitting over to the side for a while, just sitting there, has been very impressive because I don't keep this plugged in daily. Now, aside from that, I haven't had any other specific issues or call outs for 26.0.1, but I know a lot of people online have. But now, all of that aside, let's talk about when we can expect these betas to drop. Who knows if they found internal bugs and what this whole holdup is, but I do still firmly feel we will be getting another beta this week. However, if it doesn't come tomorrow or Thursday, I don't see it coming Friday the 31st. It could technically be pushed to November 3rd. That would be very interesting to see if we actually get another 2-week gap. However, I think it will be safe to say if we do get a 2-week gap here, that this will definitely be the RC and there will not be any other betas to follow. Now, there's still a ton of items. We did a whole video on what's to come on 26.1, really to 26.4. So if you haven't seen that and know what to expect, go check out that video. It has a lot of useful information there, and drop a comment how all of these or both of these public release and beta release have been on your device. Are you sold on it? Is it working okay for you? How is it feeling possibly getting stuck with this for 2 weeks? Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.